Next Level Motivation presents.
Before I get to my presentation, borrowing from Eve on the interview process, I recall three incidences that may have gone wrong for three people who came for an interview. They did extremely well, but they missed it on frivolities, small little things of oversight they didn't think were very important. Always remember that directors in the boardrooms he mentioned, directors or interview panels, can at times be petty. They'll pick on little things that may not matter most to you, but they matter most to your progression. And I'll give examples of those three instances. When I was Director of Corporate Affairs across here, Zambia State Insurance Corporation, we had an interview for a Director of Finance. High-profile individuals applied to the organization, and I was on the panel. And then one of the interviewers was a part of the board of the ZISC. He was the chairperson of the enumeration committee and whatever staff committee, wrote a note and said, "Chibamba, look at the collar. There is a cockroach." And this was our preferred candidate. But the cockroach was moving. Before we disqualified him completely, we had to investigate whether the cockroach came from our boardroom or it came from his jacket. My guess, and up to now that has been our conclusion, and never make that mistake, do not go to an interview wearing a suit or dress you haven't worn for 3 months. We are also able to know that the suit you are wearing was only bought yesterday. Never wear something you have not worn before to an interview, because some of the things, maybe for the jackets, they are still sealed behind, you forgot to take. Others still have the price tag on them. It's true. Try it first. For women, we're able to know that the makeup you are applying it for the first time, because it begins to melt on your nose as you keep on wiping it out. So unfortunately, the gentleman didn't get the job because of the cockroach. Another interview for marketing director for Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation. I'll mention the person who passed me the note. P.S. Malupenga was on the board of this ZNBC, and he sent me a note interviewing a lady, very articulate and talking well, and then he passes a note to me. "DG, look at the face and the hands. Are they matching?" And I looked, they were like Coca-Cola and Fanta. And just because of that, we were able to deduce this person is not real. The third instance, this one I want to ask among you, who'd give an alternative answer to that error that was made? Again, it was across here. We're interviewing for manager to report my office. It was manager of marketing. I was in charge of 4 other departments. So manager of marketing we're employing for. And this lady comes in, very intelligent, experienced woman in marketing, and she made one statement that killed it all. And I would ask you, after I make that statement, what should she have said instead? And she said, Eve talked about value adding. What value are you going to add to the organization? You remember what she said? What value are you going to add? It's very important. And this is the value she thought she was going to add. And she says, I live in Makeni. Your billboards are horrible. They are peering out. I even wonder whether there are people who manage those billboards in the company. I'm coming here to change those. I looked at your walls out there. The paint, it needs some touch. Your walls, the bricks, and the branding there. I don't know when you last did it. It looks really horrible. This is horrible. And I was saying, I'm in charge, and I'm listening to that. And I said, should I slap her or something? I was boiling inside. She was insulting me. You know what I'm talking about? She was insulting me. And she wants to get the job in which I'm in charge. Any volunteer here, what should she have said? Yes, it's correct, actually. It's correct. That's why we're looking for somebody, because I knew the billboards were appearing off. They are really bad. But what should she have said as a way of adding value to the job? Yes, my brother. Give him the microphone. Listen. Listen attentively. What's your name again?
Kanyama.
Now, if you say it well, you never know these people may hire you. Say it well. No. You win a job outside the job interview. It's under circumstances like this you win a job. Say it.
I think what she should have said, not knowing who is on the panel, was to say, I have been looking at your billboards and mention the places where they are. And I'm sure that when I join this team with my supervisor, we'll work together to make sure that the billboards are of the highest standard.
You don't go to listen to you men. I want to tell you, when you're proposing love to women, you don't go to a woman and say, look, I just love you you're actually ugly. You're actually lucky to have me. Remember Eve talked about branding part of it, how you brand. This is about organizations. Many organizations have a standard they have set for themselves. And they're able to gauge their standard by evaluating the quality of people who apply for jobs for them. Even the way you walk into an interview, what makes them think, just the way they're wearing the suit or dressed, that they are for us. And one of my concerns as NBC, with the time I just joined Sui was there, was to look at the quality of people who are applying for jobs. They were not from Barclays Bank, not from Standard Chartered Bank, but they are coming from the same parastatals that are going through similar problems. That told me at what level we were, that the market thought so low of us. My sister, you're a teacher. What would happen to you if a security man or security guard one day approaches you and says, "Amai nifuna kukamba na imwe, mutima wanga uyenda nikamiona." And before that, you are really thinking so high of yourself. You had placed yourself so high. Such a beautiful, immaculate woman. I deserve a millionaire to marry me. And the one who comes to you is a security man. How do you feel? That is where you belong. You are at the level of a security man. So the branding is important. When you go for an interview, this is a preamble to just answer questions that were asked. The way you go there, don't be unnatural. Don't put too much perfume. Some perfume actually give people some sneezing. I sneeze. When you just walk in, you're overplaying perfume, we feel you are exaggerating your life. Be real, be yourself. That's all. Don't over-exaggerate. Don't go for a special hairdo for the interview. Just the normal hair you wear every day. We're able to know who you wants to deceive us. Like Eve says, before they get married, they are so nicely dressed. The moment they get married, they stop washing. We know. So that was just a preamble to answer the questions. I have a very brief presentation today. When I went to the International Monetary Fund, I learned a lot of things. And the reason I left them was I wanted to be myself. When I went there, I said, Very good lessons. I've learned a lot from this organization, but I don't want to be a statistic in an organization that has already achieved excellence. I don't belong to the excellent. The excellent teach me, but I don't belong there. I'll learn and go back and help my society. And that's how I'm here. Now, when the Minister of Finance came to the IMF last year in October, he wanted to have a brief discussion with me, just to know how to deal with the IMF. And I shared with him a number of things. But one stands out, and that one I can share it publicly. I want to share it to you. Only one thing. That one thing was mentioned by Sonny. That one thing was mentioned actually by Eve. And it's good that the organizers put me the last speaker so that I can zero in on that one issue, so that you go with it. Just one. Can you say one issue? One issue. And I want you to remember what takes you to the top. A lot of things were discussed, a lot of them this morning. But I'll just take out one. And when I met Mr. Mtati, I mentioned a number of them. But I said, this one issue is so important. It may appear very irrelevant, but it's so critical to the success of an individual, an organization, or government. One issue. Deadlines. Can we say meeting deadlines? Meeting deadlines. So simple, so small, but it means a lot. Don't move yet. Because society,
next level motivation,
an employer,